Every year, we learn a little bit more about this wonderful industry that we have. It is my pleasure now to welcome our 2016 keynote speaker, Patti Colbert. Patti is a hands-on promoter for the horse industry. From starting at the age of 9 with a paint pony to management of large equine facilities and organizations, Patti has done it all. Her career accomplishments include Executive Director of the Texas Quarter Horse Association, Publisher-Editor of Arena Sports News, Senior Director of Development for the American Quarter Horse Foundation. She has served on the boards of the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, American Quarter Horse Association, and the American Stock Horse Association. Patti is currently focusing our marketing efforts on Time to Ride, an initiative of the American Horse Council's Marketing Alliance. We are honored to have her join us today and share good things with us. We welcome Patti.
Colbert. And the clicker is supposed to, there it is. Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. How are you? You know, and in Texas we say, hey, y'all. And the plural of that is all y'all. So thank you for being here, and I'm pretty excited to be talking to a group that gives wine away at 8:30 in the morning. I mean, I was like, okay, this is my kind of place. The other thing I do and enjoy is when I go on the trips to speak and stuff, I usually travel Southwest Airlines, you know, cheapest. And I always get something out of those magazines. So in the magazine, in this issue, if any of you are flying back, you can grab it, was a short deal about Chris Anderson, who bought the TED Talks. Anybody listen to the TED Talks online? If you don't, I'm going to tell you, it is the most incredible, valuable experience that you'll find. But in this deal, he said that about public speaking is the terror that you feel when you're about to speak in front of a group. There's a reason. It's your ancient flight or fight shot of adrenaline. Use it to your best advantage. And we identify with our animals that we love so much that are absolutely that same response mechanism. So here's a little flight to fight this morning, and I hope you enjoy it, because I know the shortest speech always wins. So I'm going to start with our PowerPoint. My gang back there on the deal. Let's go back to welcoming new people, because that's what it's all about. You know, growing our industry is not about upselling someone from a up-downer rider into a show horse scenario. Once they are already in the circle of horses, then it's your job as an industry person to move them up the food chain, right? But who goes and gets the new people? The brand new people that may have some kind of an interest or compassion in horses. So let's talk about what's been happening to us, the bad years. If you can read this, that's a very small deal, but I kind of totaled up your Arabian registrations in the changes from 03 to 13. And you had and I kind of combined the Arabs and the Anglos and the halves. And you suffered a 66% loss in equine registration. Just talked to my good friend Glenn, and he shared with me that there's just kind of a continued leveling or downturn. We cannot settle for good bad news. If you're settling for good bad news, then you're going to continue that decline, and you're going to become irrelevant. And so know that it is your job to be able to do this. There we are. So there's one horse that I can talk about that everybody loves, right? The number one most iconic animal in the deal, and this is why. If you'd play that, please. That's not the right one. Thank you. That's the right one.
To my love, took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built Well, a landslide will bring it down.
A great one, right? We saw Budweiser continue in a trend to attract a target market, and guess what that market was over those years? Women. Women. They felt that women, as we are the CFOs of our families, we are at the grocery store, we buy the beer, and so when you saw the good-looking guy, the colt, then remember the puppy, and then remember the adoption of the puppy, and then guess what happened? We'll get this working. Craft beer came along. Craft beer came along and stole 60% of their market share. Does that number sound familiar to you? Because their market changed, and the craft beer buyers were male-oriented, and they changed their 2016 commercial to attract that market. Please, guys? There's a commercial designed for the 18 to 24-year-old male that they can connect with, that they can be tough and hard and going forward. So, what we're facing and why we have to do some pretty dramatic changes in the industry is largely because we're losing the boomers. Here I am, and we are dying off faster than you can imagine. That number, and you laugh because most of you are one, which is a sad thing to say about an industry. So, what we've been dependent on is these old gals. Now, forgive me, I couldn't find old ladies riding Arabian horses in Google Images, but these gals are the ones that have kind of kept this going. They've been the riders. They have Roy and Dale embedded in our minds. Fury and Flicka are easy for us, and we moved right towards that. We no longer have those stimulants in the media, and so we have to really rely on reaching out in other ways. Like this old guy here, there's my Arab, because I did a lot of work looking for some Arabs in my deal, because I love these horses. But you know, who knows who that guy in the yellow shirt is? He looks like Gramps to me. And Gramps is carrying a whole lot of the influx of young people into our industry. Grandparents are the gatekeepers of the industry because they have the financial capability and the time, discretionary time, to reach out and support their grandparents. So those of you that own barns and things like that, yeah, you've got to chase mom, as we're going to talk about, but you also have to chase the grandparents. So the other thing, because here's what I don't want you to leave today doing. I don't want you to walk out this door anymore and go, well, we're just downturned because of the economy. Bullshit. That was that flight or fight thing going in. And if you don't stop taking the camera off of me and you leave it on the PowerPoint, because nobody wants to see me on the big screen. Okay? Got it? All right. So, urbanization, urbanization, is everybody wants to live downtown. The whole trend has been moving close so that you can be next to Starbucks. I saw the line to get coffee this morning. Holy smokes, out here you had to fight for it. They want to go to the farmer's market. They want to eat organically. You know what I thought organic was when I was younger? I thought it was something grown in manure, and I didn't want anything to do with it. You know, I wanted the clean stuff. Give me some chemicals. Kill those bugs. That's not the way younger generations think. This is their idea of a ranch, okay? This is a rooftop chicken coop, and right there are $1,200 chickens. Now, you laugh. You just go ahead and laugh. But that's what's taking your horse business away from you. Because people want to connect with animals for a sense of purpose. Most of the folks don't give a rat's butt if they ride or not. They want the sense of purpose and the connection, and their connection is to these chickens. You ask anybody that has a feed store, and the chicken business is keeping them alive. The other thing that I want you to realize and not blame on the economy is this next generation. And you say that, oh, it's all about these kids and they don't pay attention, you know, and they're a three-screen generation. Those kids are, you know them, they've got tablets, phones, computer screens, all that thing going on. But have you played with a horse game lately? Because if you haven't and you all think that you know what these video games are like, you've got no idea. Let's show them, guys, a little bit. A very easy world for an 8-year-old girl to enter into. It captures every piece of his dream, her dream, with the Pegasus horse and the grooming and the caring. Did you notice there are no humans in there? That you replace yourself in that dream world. You know, they have done such great testing on this that those kids want to kind of see themselves on the horse. They want to see themselves as the rider. So, with all of these challenges and the big question on who is going to help reach new people and the fear of the decline in our industry for the last 10 to 12 years, the industry got together and created the effort of a collaborative marketing team. These partners at the top pay $25,000 a year to develop and institute and operate the Time to Ride program. They also are supported by $10,000 a year program partners that consolidate their money and time and effort. And my company for the last 4 years has been delivering the goods on this, which we'll show you quickly. Why is it? We just talked about it. It's economic and demographic. It's the competition of what we have for space, and it is barriers in not money. And stop saying that it's too expensive. It's accessibility. How easy is it for mom to be able to find a quality riding facility? We think it's easy because we know the people. They know nothing. It'd be like me trying to get sewing lessons. You know, I mean, where do you find the right sewing machine? How do you thread the needle? I've got no idea. I need somebody who's going to take care of me on that. So what we're up against, again, stop whining and look at what's happening. Sitting is the new smoking, okay? Sedentary lifestyles are killing people more than smoking is killing you. And that's what's happening across the board. As you see in 14, we have, you know, millions of people that aren't doing anything at all in their lives. And then you want to say, oh, well, we're not growing because the kids are playing baseball. Well, baloney. Look at the downturn in sports across the board. The only thing that's got a blip on the radar screen is lacrosse and just gymnastics. So everyone is facing the same issues that we are. We've seen it in lots of programs. Golf, I don't know if you golfers, you know, they've had a massive decline in golf and tennis. And so they've created some first tee stuff for kids. The aviation industry is missing pilots, and they went out and kind of brought kids into play. The ski are giving free ski passes to the little kids on the slopes. So we went after time to ride. Our goal and vision are absolutely to grow the industry, to make better and easier access for the public. And for us, success means that mom chooses to go take their child to ride a horse. How do we do that? Zoetis and the collaboration spent over $100,000 in attitudinal research and survey. Time and time again, guys, I love you to death. And there's a lot of men in this room. Usually you're outnumbered, you know, like way. But we're after mom. We don't have the money to be able to chase someone on a national basis. So we've got a rifle shot, and our target are females, 35-45. We want them to have a couple of kids, preferably girls. Again, guys, don't get upset. We love you. But it's a lot easier to move mom and a daughter into riding than it is a mom and a son. And don't take that personally. Boy, do I get people come up afterwards and go, what about my boy? But we love your boy, and we want him to do it, but we don't have the money to chase your boy right now. Well, so we want those decision makers. Well, we couldn't afford to get her. We tried. We locked up with the Moms Bloggers Association. You know, there's like 260,000 mom bloggers. And so we paid to try to kind of deliver some messaging out that way. We figured our best delivery system was to go to the barns and stables that are welcoming entry-level people. And those are who we connected with. The lessons and training barns, the trail ride facilities. When we did all these queries, do you know where the number one access that the public felt like that they could connect with a horse was? Carriage rides. Number 2, trail rides. Guess how they identify and try to find a trail ride? Guess what their Google words are? Rent a horse. Yeah, we laugh. See, that's where we're arrogant. We laugh about that, but we've got to think like mom, which is the hardest thing for a horse person to do, is to think like a non-horse person. So we went after that. How are we going to hook them? How are we going to get the barns, engaged and ready to do? Well, money. Robin Loans and I were very much involved in the Mustang makeover scenarios. I ran that organization for 10 years with the Extreme Mustang Makeovers, and we created that, and it was based on prize money and then reimbursement for the effort to train those horses. That's the key to the success, was the hook, was the prize money. So we created the Time to Ride Challenge, where we added $100,000 in cash and prizes for stables, barns, trail ride organizations, associations, to go out and connect with newcomers. They had to produce events where they made a horse accessible for 3 minutes to each person to pet, groom, or ride. They had to capture their email address, send it back into us, and then we bounced back on the email to make sure that they attended something. And we created, over the last 3 years, over 90,000 new enthusiasts. We've got more than 1,500 barns, stables recruited to deliver this, and we've paid out over $300,000 over the last 3 years. Now, I will tell you about these barns and stables. Largely, they're not your friends. They're barns and stables that are delivering riding lessons. We've surveyed them, they may have 2 lesson horses, they may have 25 lesson horses. They are not affiliated with anybody. They're too busy. You know them. They're moms and pops that are running stables and that are trying to keep up with their lessons and doing those kinds of things. And that is where we need to go, and that is who we need to support. We had a record number this year. It's the third year. We had over 1,000 events. We registered 218 hosts that put on so many incredible, once they get it, they like it. 65% of these stables saw an increase in their business as a direct result. Thank you, Arabian Horse Association. You participated with us in the association challenge and offered up $5,000. You had 8 Arabian barns sign up. I hope you recognize either Rushlow or Rusty Bar. I should have put them all up there. They produced, that looks like a marketing number, but truly, exactly, they produced 100 events. They connected with 1,500 newcomers, and you guys awarded them. The winner was Rushlow, and second place was Rusty Bar. So your acquisition on a new person was $3. That was pretty stinking cheap, in the big picture of things. So we hope that you'll stay connected with us and again offer that. And thank you, Glenn, for making that happen. Greatly appreciate it. I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth. If you guys would play that one for me.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Ronke-Kronsberg. I own CRK Training Stable in Yorba Linda, California. We have had a successful show barn for many, many years until about 8 years ago when the economy downturned and all of our business walked out the gate. We ended up going all the way down to having just one school horse, and I was barely working, only doing 8 lessons a week. Then we found out about the American Horse Council's Time to Ride program, and we figured we didn't have a whole lot to lose, so we'd give it a try. We had our first open house, we scheduled it, put out flyers, did everything we could to advertise it, and only 3 people showed up. We were really disappointed, but we didn't have anything to lose, so we just kept at it, tried again, found out the wonders of Facebook and social media, and advertised that way. At our next event, we had about 20 people, and some of them started signing up for lessons. The next event got bigger and bigger. By the last event we had about 70 people here, and my schedule was full. I had to hire another instructor, and now we're up to 4 school horses and still looking for more. So I wanted to thank the American Horse Council and Time to Ride for helping us out, getting us back on track, and we're looking forward to doing it again this year. Thanks. Bye.
Out of the horse's mouth. We hear that story time and time again. My favorite one I'll share with you is that I had gone in on, we have to kind of hold hands with these folks, and I'd gone in on a Saturday morning to call a bunch of the hosts, those are what we call our stable owners, to get their information turned in. And a lady, usually you're leaving a message. A lady answered the phone. I said who I was, Time to Ride. She said, "Oh, thank you so much for the banner," because we make banners available to them to do it. She said, "I put it on my front gate, and it's amazing the number of people that come in." And my equine arrogance went immediately, "Oh my God, you crazy person, you don't even have a sign on your gate." But that's where it's at. It's as basic in marketing as that, is that these folks are so busy, they barely take a breath, and yet they'll kind of suffer through a decline without making a change, as simple as putting a banner on your gate. Or what we've learned so much and what we're teaching and sharing with them is how to place a Facebook ad, which, as you know, is the cheapest way to be able to engage the public. So we've had lots and lots of tremendous stories. This gal won $10,000 and put a new roof on her barn. Our 17 efforts are going to be to focus more on retention. We're going to start rewarding for retention, that if they can prove that they did a newcomer and then they came back for a lesson, we plan on making that even more advantageous for them. We layered in some other things, pledge to take a friend riding. Friends and family are the 2 major entry points for involvement with horses. How many of you are here because your parents or grandparents had horses? Would you raise your hand? As you see, it's well over 50% of who we are. And that's a critical entry point that we have to keep fresh. So we reached out to some horse people, industry folks. Al's a great man in all of the businesses here and a deal. He produced Take a Friend Riding, but we tried to go to a larger market. You guys have access to celebrities, if we could get William Shatner to say, hey, how about, we're still chasing boomers. We'd like to get like the new Captain Kirk, whatever his name is. I'd, by God, go riding with him. But we tried to get public figures. D. Wayne is an amazing man and was so helpful. David O'Connor was great. Again, unfortunately, these are older and not so attractive to whatever. Lyle, if you don't know Lyle Levitt's probably our best marketing tool in the industry. Yeah, what about that mean? Anyway, but he's a great human being. But I was lucky enough, that good-looking guy on the right there was one of the bachelors in the Bachelorette show that just finished. His name is Luke Pell. Look at you, I know some of y'all watched it. Yeah, I can tell. Anyway, Luke was one of my 4-H kids and was on my state horse judging champion team years ago. And so when he became this kind of very hot, iconic deal, I asked him if he'd participate in this Take Someone Riding, and he did, and has been so gracious. And let me tell you what, we did a meet and greet with him at the Cowgirl Hall of Fame deal and had a horse there and whatever. They got run over. They had to limit the number of young women, that wanted to come see him, and by the way, pet the horse too. So we have to use things that are smart, marketing tools and support. We create, if you'll go online and just kind of hop on there, you can steal all this stuff. It's free. It's absolutely free. We've put a package together from publicity to downloadable templates that you can use and dump your own information in. We have great ads like this with good photos. They're very genetic because we want, people, and you can put your own messages and things in there for delivery. We have on there, best practices. You know how the best thing about these kinds of conventions are what you can steal from each other, right? So we reward them with posting and sharing what the things were that worked for them. Here's a Girl Scout group that comes out, and a border challenge, which has been really successful, and people saw that you reward your borders for bringing new people in. We don't even think like that. In the industry, we're just like, oh, well, let's go see if we can get, that competitor to come over here. Well, we need new people into the deal. So we have a pretty good website. We're working constantly on the map. The website brings you in as either that you want to ride a horse or that you're an equine business owner. And so we try to segment that. We divide it. And this all comes from attitudinal research. We didn't make this up. This is where we feel that people want to come into. Fairs and rodeos are the number one access into coming into an event. Horse shows, way down there, folks. The public does not want to go to a horse show. We try to map then anybody that's involved with us so that you can be there and have a good description and photos of who you are. We try to, again, hope with that accessibility. We've reached out to two of the colleges and universities. The most exciting thing for me is that they're putting on time to ride events, so those equine students are learning the value of reaching new people and seeing what you can do if you bring new people in, and how you have customer service to a new person. So this is where it all begins. That's kind of one of my favorite slides, because what do y'all say as horse people? I'm the guiltiest one in the room. But a mom walks out with a toddler like that to your barn holding hand, and you're like, oh, no. And, we go, hey, come back when the kid's got some legs, don't bring that 2 or 3-year-old out here. I don't want him. Well, let me tell you what, the moms this day and age, and any of y'all got daughters like I do, I've got a 40-year-old daughter with 2 girls, they think that those children are brilliant and that they want them to experience life at the earliest age. That's what Montessori and everything else is about. So we tell them no, and that no stays with them the rest of their life. You tell them yes when they bring those babies out, and you figure out some old horse that you can put them on just to touch, just to connect. That's all you have to do in order to make that mom feel good about what's going on. So there's a couple of elements that we need to thank because we're not having anything to do with this. Some of you may, but it's this therapeutic use of our animal. These horses are going back into service, fat, and we don't have anything to do with it. You may promote a little deal or a veterans program. Well, good for you, because this stinking horse doesn't need us. This horse is so amazing that they're serving humanity again in so many ways. So we need to thank those elements and become connected with them in any way that you can for growth. Support them. There's some big things that we need to make. If you don't thank My Little Pony, we're all screwed. When that 3-year-old kid, little girl, gets that pink and purple pony, it isn't because it's a horse. It's because of the hair play. Girls are interested in hair play. It's a, this is a genetic thing that we have. I don't have it quite so much, but the kids want that, and those colors and the rainbow and the glitter, they bring it on. We need to thank that chick right there. Barbie was the first toy to bring a horse into her life. And now she's a veterinarian. And now she's doing all the things that we want our children to aspire to be. And then we need to thank Briar. Briar allows mostly women that are in their 30s to 70s that don't have the ability to experience horses have that connection. That's a handmade piece right there. Anybody been to a Briar show? See, and we all think we know what it is, but you don't know till you go. And it is a work of art that people are doing. So thank you for Briar to allowing us to keep it going. So what I'm going to close with is what I'm desperately fighting every minute of the day with myself is equine arrogance. As I challenged you to think like a non-horse owning person, it's the most difficult thing that we do in our lives, but we have to get outside of ourselves to bring new people in. My favorite story to share is I ran a recreational riding facility at our ranch for 10 years. And I dealt with the public and enjoyed it, but also, made me crazy. Because I pick up the phone, they book a ride. Are we going to run? And I was like, no, that's what they do at the Kentucky Derby. And we're not going to run because we want you to be safe. Well, they, intrinsically want this. Or, hey, I can ride. I can ride. I can ride. Look at all your arrogance coming out in y'all. Yeah, I know about those sorry son of a guns that think they can ride. Well, those were my customers. So what I did, though, when I'd get kind of uptight, I'd say, hey, there's old Blue. One time a guy came with spurs on. I was like, oh, my God. But, hey, I can ride. I've been around horses. And sometimes, they had, but I'd give them a halter, a buckle halter, and a leader up, and I'd say, there's old Blue. Will you go in there and catch him and bring him out? We'll, you can help us get ready. Do you know you can take that halter and you can make that piece that goes right here come right down the middle of their eye? Now, that's my granddaughter right there. Gonna get a little emotional. This is the last speech I'm giving, guys, in my career. I'm really ready to stop. I'm ready to get out of the way and let young people take the lead on this. Many of you that are sitting out there need to get out of the way. You need to get some young people. You need to get some millennials in here. You need to make some drastic changes if you're going to keep your breed moving. But let go of the arrogance. Love this animal with all your heart and open your doors. Pull into the gas station, drop those stall doors on your trailer, because that kid that's sitting next to you with mom pumping gas thinks you've got a giraffe in there. They're so curious, and with mom's permission, if they can just look, you may create the next rider. Thank you so much.
I've been very blessed to hear Patti speak a number of times at the American Horse Council. She never ceases to amaze me. But this is a message that we've been trying to get out to all of you, and it is a way to increase our market share. And so, Patti, thank you from the bottom of our heart for that. But I want you to take that message. I mean, we had a lot of fun, and Patti gave us a lot of lighthearted this morning, but it's a true message. If we don't get out there, we are going to miss the boat. There's only going to be so many horses in the future, and we need to increase that market share, and the Arabian horse is the perfect family horse. And so please take this to heart. Go home and talk to people about it. If you've got a barn or a stable, make it available for people to come in. Put that sign out. That's something I hadn't even thought about. I've got a sign, but I just didn't think about the fact that other people don't have signs. Maybe that's a no-brainer. Make people welcome. Make people have that access. Let them touch that horse, and you have them pretty much for life. So, Patti, thank you very, very much for that very enlightening and exciting speech. So, thanks, Patti.
I don't know about you, but I would be glad for 10% of her enthusiasm to continue us out of this room, and I think she has done. Patti Colbert told us what was going on, what we needed to know, and ladies and gentlemen, you have been schooled this morning in things that we need to keep in mind, and thank her again very, very much.